Hi, and welcome to Horror Recapped. In today's video, we will be delving into the 2012 horror film Sinister. When a well-known author moves his family to a new house for inspiration, he finds a little more than what he bargained for. Watch out. Spoilers ahead. Enjoy. Our story begins with an old film reel that shows a family being hung from a tree. Slowly, they all stop moving. We cut away to present day, and a man, Ellison, unloads a moving truck into his house. He passes his wife, Tracy, and his son, Trevor, at the road. The deputy is hoping to get an autograph from Ellison, but the sheriff can't really condone that behavior. Inside, Ellison has a conversation with his daughter, Ashley, and it becomes clear that they all moved there because of Ellison's work as a well-known writer. After a quick pep talk, the two of them walk out to move boxes, and he heads over to talk to the sheriff. The sheriff makes it very clear that he is not a fan of Ellison. Apparently, one of Ellison's books helped the killer go free, and the victim ended up going missing soon after. According to the sheriff, Ellison moving his family into the house is in bad taste. When he walks back up to the house, Tracy asks if they moved down the road from another crime scene house, and he assures her that they didn't. When he looks out the back window, we see the tree where the hangings took place. Later, Ellison goes into the attic to look around, and he finds some film reels of home videos. After dinner, Tracy mentions that she, too, does not appreciate Ellison's work as a true crime writer and the influence it has on the children, but she supports him 100%. After everyone goes to bed, Ellison sets up his office and starts to watch the home video reels he found in the attic. As the video plays, it shows a happy family enjoying quality time in the yard. After a few minutes, the scene changes to the deaths of the members that we saw in the beginning. As he rewinds it to watch a second time, he notices that one of the children is missing when the family hangs. When he goes outside to look at the scene of the crime, a strong gust of wind sends chills down his spine. But when he comes back inside, he hears noises in the house. He follows the sound, but it turns out that it's just Ashley looking for the bathroom. After he tucks her back into bed, he goes back to his office and throws on another reel. This reel shows a different family, but is in the same style. It shows the family having a good time by the water, but soon it turns to madness, as we see the car is locked with chains. All but one of the family members is locked inside with cans of gasoline, and the car is set on fire. After fighting the idea of turning the films into the police, he goes to try another reel, but he's disturbed by a sound outside his office. As he investigates the house, he realizes that the sounds are coming from the kitchen. He finds Trevor curling out of one of the moving boxes, and he takes him outside to try to pull him out of a night terror. By morning, everyone is back to normal, and Tracy takes the kids to school. When Ellison goes back to his office, he throws on another reel. It goes just like the other ones, only this one is set around a pool. After watching the deaths, Ellison thinks he sees a figure in the water. He tweaks the film until he finds a semi-clear image of the character. He figures out how to edit and restore film, and when he's done, he still can't make out who the figure is. Soon, he hears Tracy and Trevor arguing with each other. When he tries to settle things down, it turns out that Trevor found out quite a bit while at school. He drew a tree with 4 people hanging from it, and Tracy is not happy. Ellison decides to go back to work, and he stays there until after the kids are put to bed. He watches another killing on the reels, and he gathers it onto an SD card that he puts into his computer. As he observes the video, he notices graffiti is written on one of the walls, and he prints a copy. He finds clues that lead him to a news interview about the murders. According to the reporter, one of the children is still missing. Soon, the power goes out, and Ellison hears creaking coming from the attic again. Once he goes up there, he finds a snake under a shoebox lid. But the shoebox lid is what's interesting. It has drawings that depict all of the murders on the tape, and it shows a figure known as Mr. Boogie is at every single one. When Ellison goes to leave the attic, he falls through the ceiling, and emergency services are called out to help. When the deputy comes out, he asks Ellison to sign a copy of his famous book, and Ellison takes the chance to get him to help him with the case. He asks the deputy to research the murders he has discovered. The next day, Ellison examines the images in the shoebox, and he compares them to the home videos. He notices that Mr. Boogie is in every single home video, and he's watching the murders happen. Soon, Ashley brings him his coffee, and the deputy calls about information on the murders. When he hears the address, he notices that the families lived at those addresses before moving to the next ones. That night, Ellison wakes up because he hears the film projector whir coming from the office. When he goes in there, he notices that the home video was playing on its own. When he looks out the window, he sees the Mr. Boogie waiting in the bushes. Ellison takes a bat and a flashlight, and he goes to confront the figure. What he finds is Trevor shaking in the bushes. After they put Trevor back to bed, Tracy confronts him about why him and Trevor are so bad, and Ellison assures her that this is much bigger than anything else he's ever worked on. He just needs a little more time to get the specifics figured out. The next day, the deputy shows up and tells Ellison that he wants to be in the loop on the investigation. Ellison takes him to his office, and the deputy believes that it's all connected to the occult. He tells Ellison about a professor at the local college that specializes in that kind of crime, and he heads out. That night, Ellison goes back to the home videos, but this one proves too much for him to handle. Later, he sits down to do a video call with the professor, and he finds out that the symbol and ritual sacrifice traces to Boogie, the eater of children. Ellison packs up everything to take to the professor, but that night, the home videos play on their own again. He looks around for an intruder, but doesn't notice that the missing children are lurking in the shadows around him. The next day, Ellison calls the deputy out, and he hopes that he can confide in their relationship. He asks if there was anything strange about the family that died there, and the deputy starts to read into it. When the deputy asks if Tracy even knows that they were living in the same murder house, Ellison tells him no, but he's been hearing strange sounds at night. In the end, the deputy tells Ellison that he just thinks that he's gone a little too deep into the mindset of the killer, and he thinks that he's under a lot of stress. Later on, Ellison and Tracy find out that Ashley is painting in the halls, and she says that the girl that used to live here told her to paint there. Now that Tracy knows this house has a history, she lets him know exactly what she thinks about his decision to put his family at risk. That night, while the family sleeps, someone shines a spotlight on Ellison, and he wakes up when he hears the sound of the film projector again. He goes to shut it off, but when he goes in the office, he notices that the projector is gone. He goes to check the attic, and he finds that the stairs are already pulled down. When he climbs the stairs to look, he finds a bunch of children gathered on either side to watch Boogie appear on screen. Ellison is so scared that he falls down the stairs. When the projector and films are thrown downstairs, he gathers them and burns them outside. When Tracy comes out to see what's going on, Ellison tells her that they have to leave the house immediately. They gather the kids and a pile into the car. As he drives to the highway, the police pull him over, but once he tells the sheriff that they're leaving town, he lets them go. The family settles into the new house, and when the deputy tries to contact Ellison, he simply declines the call. Soon, the professor actually gets in touch with him about all the information he has on Boogie. He believes that the images are actually gateways into his realm, and that Boogie can actually take people into his realm through these gateways. After the video call, Ellison goes to the attic to put some moving boxes away, and he finds the projector and home videos intact in a box. This time, it says that there are extended endings available in the box. Ellison takes it downstairs to try to piece the films together. While he works on the film, he finally answers the deputy's phone call. The deputy tries to explain that the piece that was missing from their mystery is the fact that the murders happened after they moved away from the previous murder house. He believes that Ellison has put himself in the timeline now. When he hangs up, he plays the extended cut of the home videos, and it shows that the missing kids are actually the ones that commit the murders before they're pulled into Boogie's realm. Once the videos are done, he goes to get a drink from his cup, but he finds a note beside it that was written by his daughter. He ends up passing out, and we see Ashley standing in the doorway waiting for him to sleep. When he comes to, he finds himself tied up on the floor with the rest of his family. Soon, Ashley appears with an old camera and an axe. As she starts recording, the video cuts after she raises her axe, and when it comes back to filming, we see all of the symbols drawn in blood throughout the hallway. Then, all the missing kids appear, and they look over to Ashley, who is drawing her rendition of what she's just done. As she finishes, we see that Boogie is behind her, and he swoops her up as he brings her over to his realm. We see that the box of home movies has found its way into the attic once again, and Boogie appears on screen as the credits start to roll. That's the end of this film. We hope you've enjoyed watching this recap. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can watch any of our other horror film recaps. Thanks for watching.